Blah, 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 blah. Looks like we are going now. What is up, everybody? What's up, Tom? Yes, I did, in fact, see the 44 that happened to land in the ocean. I don't want to say cool, but it was neat being able to see the reaction from the pilot, getting into everything and having to deal with everything as he went down. And it looks like his passenger was a pilot as well, because he had some semblance of what was going on. Okay, let's see. That's going. Let's clean my headset off a little bit. Okay, that's good. H160, damn right. Because we're doing some overwater stuff today, so we need a little bit of distance on our side. So we're coming down to Okinawa-ish area. Yeah, sure, let's do Naha. Says arrival. I'm okay just doing that leg there. That's not that bad. That's covering all those islands. But from here, just going to do like an add there. But then I want to divert down to here. Gotta curve us down to keep us more over that. I want to stop here. We'll top off. Then we'll be going in from there. Cool. Flight conditions, let's get us all live. Live. Good to go. Good to go enough. See, I was going to get on last night, just do shenanigan stuff, but in an effort to keep myself from being burned out, because there's a lot more of around the world to go, I decided just to call it a night off. We parked close to that, didn't we? Okay. Ronnie, what's up? Okay, guys, welcome to day 25. We are in the H160 today. And a cool thing, I can now control looking left and right with my hand controller. But there's no pre-flight on here since it's a add-on thing. We have people with us today. Gross. Who are you? Okay, oh well. I guess we're taking people to Okinawa. That's right, we got this ugly bitch. It's not Elaine, but we got somebody in here with us. Let's see, how am I feeling? I feel okay. Although I don't like how close that shit is. Let's see what we got over here. I have only flown this thing like twice. Let's see, we got batteries here. No, it's literally not the direction that I'm telling you to go. Battery on. There we go. We have to do like a hard swipe to the left to get those to go. Activate product. Fuck you mean activate product? We'll see if it seems like it's going to be an issue. Okay. All that seems normal. All that seems normal. All that seems normal. Let's go ahead and take the first one to idle. Actually, I don't like this, so we're gonna restart this real quick. Yeah, I wasn't in the other nights. I guess I didn't really want to wear myself thin. On the ground, shut down. Set as arrival. That's all cool there. Okay, let's see if this works this time for us for the startup. 2 hours 30, roughly. Not bad. And the next one past that's a huge jump, so I don't want to do another, whatever the name of that Russian island chain is again. I'd rather not do that. You shouldn't be running. Let me hurry up and get in this fucking thing before it tries to take off without me. Shift C. You've got a fucking brake. I don't know what. There you go. You stopped. Maybe 1 hour tops. Maybe. The fuck do you mean waiting for startup? Are you waiting for... No. Here we go. Let's see if the hype thing. I'm just gonna get out my thing. Hype Operations Center. Allow. Fuck do you mean? Not detected. Update available. Okay. I don't want to fly the 225 because it's been a bitch. Okay, y'all just deal with me for a second. Install. I'm just gonna update this and see if that will allow it to, we'll have to end this flight again, sadly. Come on, zoom out for me, bud. So, I think the people that made the 160 released an update. So I have to update that. And, now see if this works. Okay, I'm just going to spawn in real quick. Actually, I'll go and set up the full thing. If not, then I'll just reset the, on ground shut down. And if anything, I may have to restart the sim. But they've redone stuff on here, and it's very quick to reload in. So it's not that big of a deal now. Oh, of course, now that does that thing. That's beautiful. Y'all like how it was doing the normal path thing before and now it's doing this? Absolutely stupid. Actually, I wonder if it's because of the way I'm adding points. Fuel box. Set as departure. Okinawa. Set it actually as the fuel box. Set as arrival. There we go. So that's bending path for me now. Okay, 160, let's see what you got. I mean, you've seen all the other helicopters I got. The big thing for today is we're over water. And I want something bigger and more comfortable and can do somewhat of a speed over water. So we're looking Chinook, 225, 160. I'm thinking like the 140 knot plus club. Shift C. No. Activate product. Oh my god. That is annoying. Activation is automatic, so I've got the newest version installed. Don't have the action pack to take. I don't want the action pack. Let's just see how far we can get. Nope. Don't care. Don't care. Da, 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 da. I feel like I almost just kind of want to deal with this. Except that won't give me GPS. Fucking hell, that's a bitch. Let's see, can I deal with... Okay, I do get a map through here. Cool. You'll be dead to me. Let's just see if this all works. Okay, helicopter, I want to go backwards. Okay, let's see if you work. Activate product thing is kind of weird. Does my collective not work now? This works. Pedals work. Does my collective not fucking work? Is there collective friction? Fuck, that is really annoying. Oh. Guys, why does it have to do this to us? Yeah, there's an acceptable like strings, except it's not fucking working for me. Absolutely unacceptable. Can I just force it to give me an ETL? You have rotor RPM, what is... Oh my god. That is so fucking pesky. Okay, we're doing the old school. We're going to 22 Bravo. Since the 160 wants to be a fucking bitch. All the bright colored bottom. That's fucking annoying. I'll get on their Discord or something later and see if I can figure it out. it change time on me? We'll see. I now see H130 after I've already clicked start. So we're going to try a luxury Huey today and see what it does. Okay. Let's get in. Get taller. Battery on. Bleep, don't care. All that's getting started. Very cool. Fuel on. Fuel prime. Fuel prime. Da, 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 da. That's all good. Let's use my Mizhouse. We'll start spinning engine 1 up. Oh, we definitely have the lights on already. Go away thing. Oh. Seatbelt smoking, I don't care. Fuel prime's gonna go off. RPM's getting up to speed. We are in the green now. The governor's doing its thing. E. Yeah, they can do that cruise, but I really have to work them in the game to get them to do that cruise. That's the difference. If I was able to trim out, I would. But I can't, so I'm not. Okay, little volcano town. This is helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. We're getting on up out of here. Beep, 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 beep. There's a very triangular mountain we saw before. Make sure our fuel was topped off. Okay, on the move. Finally, I'll figure out what's wrong with the 160. Tomorrow or something we'll figure out because we have more water crossing to do tomorrow. Oh, and also for those that care, that's not Elaine, that's whatever the other one is. Okay, cool. But for those of you who care or are worried about it, I've started testing of that thing that I'm making. And testing today so far went well. So, looking hopeful. Except the first batch of stuff that I attempted to make yesterday, the stove setup that I have was not what I needed. Way too hot, need something a lot slower to do it. But yeah, not too bad. Pretty happy with it. And I'm using more of one ingredient than I was expecting, but that's what trial and error is all about. So slightly less margin on it, but still not bad. Wi-Fi keeps cutting out, or the stream keeps cutting out on me. 6 people in here. Also, I did forget to do something. I need to do online. We are East Coast, 43 millisecond. So I need to fix that so that way in case anybody wants to join in, they can. Come on, side computer, let's go. East Coast, 43 millisecond. Save. Bless me. Saving back. Resume. Okay, so you're not Elaine. Who are you? You look like Letty from Fast and the Furious. My little spicy Hispanic girlfriend. Okay, that feels good. Nobody in the back, just me and you. Got a rotor job on the way down here. Trying to read what Sean said. Healthy dose of liquor. Okay. We're going the distance. And for speed. No, she's cooler than that. The reason I say that is because I paid for her specifically. Or not for her, but she's part of the models that came with the, when you buy the Cowan Sim stuff, they have their own co-pilot models that they have in there, so technically I paid for her model. Meanwhile, Elaine, I did not pay for her, she came with the game. Paid for the game, but she's part of the downloaded things on purpose, so... 44 in the ocean, what caused it? It sounded very engine related. There's a big tone change. Auto rotation was super smooth. Everything else seemed to be going right. My assumption would probably be, I'm gonna go fuel related. Like a main fuel valve or something had just like a huge flake of something go through it and start starving the engine out or something along those lines, because I mean, magnetos are built where they can run, or the engine can run on one magneto because it's 2 magnetos per engine. You'd really have to have a hell of an electrical system failure for that to happen, but with it being a fishing boat sort of thing, Sean can also attest to this. Salt water fucks up equipment. And I mean, I'm sure you do too, since y'all are on the coast. If you've done sandbar trips or whatever, I'm sure you can attest to the corrosion that happens to exist with any sort of aircraft that happens to be going anywhere near. Then aircraft thinks about salt water, it's just going to be fucked. That's basically what I've come to figure out. And there's oil pressure loss too. I didn't rewatch. I didn't know if you could see Gage. I saw the interior view of it looking at him, but I pretty much saw that view and watched it twice. And then saw the exterior view and watched it once or twice. But yeah, there was some serious vibration when it initially decided to start shutting down. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm thinking about the Bahama Charter Flight Company's fuel valve. The salt water wreaks fucking havoc on that stuff. Why did that go away? So yeah, seeing a fishing boat type thing where I know it's landing and being near salt water and salt spray and salt splashing. I'm just assuming some of that got into the tank, peeled a liner, and caused something to clog up in the main fuel selector valve. That's my assumption. Or if it made it through that, something got to where it got into the or it got through that and gone to a cylinder. As far as the oil pressure, I don't know. I didn't see the gauges. Couldn't say yay or nay. But it is also possible that water got into the oil, just because splash on some of these boats is unreal. But also I would assume water getting into the oil would have been picked up much earlier than what they were in their flight, because they weren't exactly right next to the boat or in startup or in run-up. They were out above something, so that makes me think corrosion inside of the hello V&E. That makes me think corrosion inside of the tank or something came through. Where are we? Water. Yeah, we are just leaving the main islands of Japan, heading south towards Okinawa. We are playing fast and loose today. Because I don't want to say I don't want to be here, but I'm very ready to be done with water. So basically, once we leave Australia, and do like those last 2 water crossings to get up to Thailand, we're pretty much not crossing any sizable bit of water again until the Mediterranean Sea. And then we're going to explore Europe a little bit, and then we're going to have like 4 days of doing some bigger water crossing jumps to get over to Canada. And then we're also planning a little bit of island hopping to get down to South America so we can circle back up. Hello, Berlin. Thing lost a cylinder. Could have lost that, had melted on the sump blocking the oil pickup. And snap the oil pump with the cylinder piston. Possible, also. Big thing would be what would cause it to lose a cylinder. What would... But also, who knows what the maintenance schedule and how consistently they follow maintenance on stuff like offshore fishing boats. So who knows, you know. Potentially we'll see something out of it, but I don't think they were in a place where like NTSB reports are going to be a thing, so it might have just been picked up by the boat's crane and taken back to shore and to be fixed and sprayed down with some anti-salt cleaning stuff and fixed and put back into service. Hundreds of different ways where it could fail. Like I said, my biggest thing is just from having worked on a shit ton of fuel valves and seeing the corrosion. My mind goes there, but also that's kind of a, I don't want to say a survivor's bias. I didn't really touch many other components that had heavy corrosion and stuff like that. I just saw a lot of corrosion and thinking mentally like, where did this piece of metal fucking disappear to? It had to have gone somewhere. It had to have either been completely dissolved and fed through the engine slow enough to where it wasn't an issue, or it went into the engine in a chunk. So just because I've seen a hell of a lot of saltwater fuel component issues is why my brain goes there, you know. Could have been something oil related. Could have been something timing related. Maybe they didn't tighten down the magnetos when it was reinstalled, and they happened to get out of time on the engine to where they needed to be, and caused a pre-detonation during the cycle. You know, it's, who knows? I mean, somebody knows. That they'll figure it out. I'm sure the company will want to know why they lost a helicopter. And since it's recoverable, I'm sure they're going to dig into it because they want to prevent that from happening in the future. But it's all speculation, you know. Oh man, you mean we're not halfway there yet? Damn. I was hoping we were. Yeah, exactly. True, fuel bladders do exist. But like I said, we were also dealing with fuel valves, whether it be on-off valves or selector valves for planes with 2 tanks or whatever. And dude, I mean, there were solid fucking chunks of some of these valves missing. Like, there were some holes where it was so tiny. Like one fuel valve we had a flapper for a leak, where the aluminum was so thin that when we looked through it with light, there was no light shining through it. So we said, okay, cool, send it, we'll refinish it and test it. Went to go test it, it was leaking through. We put a light through there, we couldn't see anything until we put pressure behind it. and then a little flap of aluminum had like pinholed its way through to allow a leak. But some of them where I'm saying, dude, I mean, it was like the size of nerds, and like the little tart sour candy thing. Like little nerds or little pebble-sized chunks of like fuel valve just gone. Like, where did it go? And it'd be like the fuel valve that would be here in the cockpit. So, and like I said, my brain only goes there because that's what I dealt with a lot of. Could be plenty of other issues, but my brain just goes there because that's my experience. I'm sure there's somebody somewhere who like explicitly works on those those Continental engines or whatever, or Lycoming or what. I think it's Lycoming in the Robinson. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But there's somebody who only does overhauls on those engines as like their daily job. And they're like, oh man, we get so many of these back where there is a failure, where there is an installation of a particular O-ring that came from the factory from this day and this year and this month and whatever. And it's not enough to make it a recall or an AD, but we've seen this happen a few times. It could be something like that. Yep, Lycoming, that's right, yeah. Yeah, carb issues too, where that could be something from the fuel setup. It could have been, depending on how good the gas source that they have. You know, if they had been on the water for a couple of months, because usually those fishing boats are on the water for a while before they go back. Could have been bad fuel source. You know, it could have had water in the fuel from the tank on the boat itself. So that could be an issue also. Or it could have been just enough salt water in that to do corrosion inside the carburetor, or corrosion inside the intake plenum to cause something to go through the engine. But a fuel source could be a very big thing. Don't work on engines anymore, but I am straightening up, motherfucker. Yeah, A&P wind inspector is something I would like to get. Not because I particularly want to be a mechanic. I'm good at it. I enjoy taking stuff apart. I'm very detail oriented and getting stuff to look perfect. I mean, you can ask Sean. There was a day where we left at 3:30, I believe. And then we had a couple of high school students that would do little stuff around the shop for us, and they would stay till 5. So one of the jobs Sean had one of them do to a fuel selector and strainer and stuff that I was working on. He had him go through some of my in-process parts and do the cleaning, like running it through the doing it the hand wash in the parts washer, then media blasting it, whether it was with like the plastic kitty litter stuff or with the yeah, you're not late whatsoever. The plastic kitty litter or little glass beads, depending on what the part was, and tolerances and task or process was for it. But he had one of the high school guys do that. I had 15, 20 things kind of in rotation. So of course I don't remember like serial numbers and parts numbers for all the parts that I had on my table at that time, because I'd have like 4 or 5 getting taken apart, 4 or 5 going through cleaning, 4 or 5 in inspection, 4 or 5 in processing and waiting, and 4 or 5 in assembly as we got parts and whatever, you know. So he had one of the high school guys take part of a fuel valve that I was in process on or whatever, and he cleaned it, sandblasted or whatever, and I got it back. And it was completely sandblasted, or media blasted, I'll just say sandblasting. It was completely media blasted, you know, it was all clean, there was nothing missing, but there's a slight surface finish difference when you, because this was a part that we did the glass beading stuff on, then we would re-iodine it. You can quickly but take your time go over the entire thing, and it would be clean, but you could kind of tell like some different shades of the aluminum, because like you would spend slightly more time on one area than the other. Well, he kind of did it quickly, moving through the process or whatever. Like the next day I got it back and I was looking at it, was like, this part's not perfect, you know, like it doesn't make a fucking bit of difference. At the end of the day, that actual part was going to get painted anyways. And I think this was like the bottom of one of those, I forget the number on the valve shop, but you know, the ones with the big like noodle strainer attached to the bottom. Or like big dong on the bottom, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, like this, like I kept looking, it's like nobody else has done this, like it's my work, signed off or whatever, like it's been in my process, like Sean wasn't doing those, it was me doing those particular parts. And I was like, I kept staring at him like, I would have fucking done better. Like, why is this part not good? And this is something that's going to be painted over where nobody will ever see it. If it's ever overhauled in 10, 15 years, whatever, the person who's doing it will be bead blasting off the paint and the coating underneath without ever seeing. Nobody will ever see the quality of this coating except for me. And it was perfectly acceptable how it was, but it wasn't perfect underneath. And like I was fucking, it was driving me crazy. And I was like, Sean, is this something I'm looking at? like what's wrong here? But he was like, no, I had, what's his name? Clean some of the parts or whatever. I was like, oh, okay. So I went and redid it. But when he came in, I was like, hey, I'm not getting on to you. There's nothing wrong. Your part would have been completely passable. But I hold myself to an extremely high standard on this stuff. So I redid all this because I wasn't happy with the finish under the iodine, regardless of it was being painted. So, yeah, like, I could do good in engine rebuilding, A&P work. I feel like regardless of what type or side of it I got into, whether it was just like general A&P or working more specifically in like an engine shop, you know, whatever it was, like, I could do good in it. But I would much rather be a pilot with the ability to do A&P work. Because I feel at that point as well, you also become much more appealing to any employer. Where it's like, okay, cool, if it's dead time because of weather or whatever, you're somebody who we can trust to continue to work on the helicopter, keep up on it, you know, depending on if you're a private owner or working for a private owner or whatever. You know, there's a lot of different advantages to having somebody who's A&P, especially with a IA on top of it. Oh yeah, Starlink train flying over, nice. I like to watch that with my night vision. Mainly doing the annual maintenance and overhauls. Engines get sent out to those people, yeah. Yeah, I could do good in one of those. You know, I wouldn't mind a job in like a very involved overhaul type situation. Nothing wrong with what I was doing. But with FAA regulations and stuff, you got to be 18 months in a repairman position to be a certified repairman. I only did 6-7 months or something like that because film started back up. But I felt very, very qualified for a majority of that, just because that's how my brain works. My brain takes stuff apart and puts it back together. So I wouldn't mind working at a place. I was even talking to some, to what was it? One of the local or local-ish utility operators that has or had whatever a fleet of multiple MD 500, 520, 530s, and apparently they recently bought out an older repair station or something like that with a shit ton of parts and other stuff with it. So they're looking at opening up their own 145 repair station. And if they're local, I can't remember if it's the Atlanta one or not. There's one that's in Atlanta, one that's north of Atlanta. If it's one of them, I will strongly be trying to get on with them. Because it would need to be a part of that, but then also have the access to the helicopters and the people that can see your drive and bring me on for utility work later on, which is exactly what I want to do. I'm going to start my A&P course at the start of the year. I put it off until next year, but I'm still doing actual maintenance at the moment every now and then. Just wasn't ready to commit full time to that. Oh yeah, I feel that. And it's like there's also approved things. What the fuck are you doing down there? Tell me a Japanese airline didn't crash down there at the fucking ocean. If it did, that'd be fucking wild that I just saw that here. But yeah, I forget exactly what part from the far aim is talking about when it's mentioning it. I know it's in part 91, but I forget like what subsection and stuff like that. But it's all of the different things that an owner, operator, or a normal user or pilot can do to their aircraft. Like checking and adding oil. You know, like if you see little thing here or there. Like I guess it's all stuff that's they're not super worried about somebody messing up in like such a significant way. But like there's a lot of stuff you can do, and then you can pretty much do anything you want to as long as there's an A&P present. My friend Brady, he works for a company that does a lot of private jet fleet maintenance and management, and I'll go hang out with him at work sometimes if I'm up in the area. And one day he was doing I want to say it's an 80 on the door of a Lear 35A, where there was some, I want to say it was like the locking rod or something on the inside of the cabin door. Or not the cabin door, but like the door on the fuselage. I want to say it was an 80 that was out on that, but we were doing or whatever, and he had to do something like with the AC or whatever. He's like, he knew I was working, or this was post working at the repair station. He's like, hey, you want to safety wire these bolts for me? Yeah, okay, sure. You know, that's not that big of a thing, a relatively easy thing to do. So I was safety wiring on a plane under an A&P, and it's certified work because he was there and he double checks everything. So like I don't want to say you can get away with a lot of stuff, because getting away makes it sound like you're doing it wrong. But there's a lot of ways for non-certified individuals to put their hands on aircrafts in some sort of maintenance way. I see y'all's messages down there, but I'm going to not check them at the moment, because we're doing that thing where the water looks exactly the same everywhere I look. And I want to get a bit closer to this island so I can have a good peripheral. Also, I just got a new battery in my phone. This is my first charging it up to 100%, so I can't take it off the stand at the moment to read something. Oh, there's a little island up here kind of on the right. Start adding some altitude to this. Why not? Is this what airline pilots just do all day? They just kind of sit there? That's kind of why helicoptering stuff has an appeal to me. I know eventually one day I'll probably be flying EMS just because it's an easier way to get a home and be close to your home and have a family as compared to utility work or something like that. But I know EMS is a lot of straight and level type flying. Actually, what's my battery at now? 97%, so I can take it off the charger here in a minute. Sean, did you ever look at that video about 3D printing the Ultim 1010 material? I think the video was called like "This is the future of racing," or "3D printing's the future of racing," or something along those lines. Fresca 9738 and a Cessna 208. Or is that just 6 with it? Weird. Oh, there's a mountain there. Hello. Is there a Cessna 208? I know there's a Cessna 206. That looks like it says 208. I don't quite speak fixed wing, so I don't know. A lot of little islands in this chain up here that we're going to be going over. Very cool. So much more to fly today. These are little downturns after this island chain. Can't zoom in on chat. Sucks. Oh, Letty might not be the name. Isn't that very copycatish of Fast and the Furious. I'll figure something else out for her. Yeah, dude, the printer that prints that stuff is fucking wild. And also, I do see all the messages before that, but it's all paragraphs, and I can't fucking pay attention enough to read that. Looking under the VR, so, I'm just gonna have to deal with that for a second. Yeah, like the heat resistance in it's fucking wild, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to print from, like PLA, PLA Plus, which I can even change my extruder and stuff and do, like carbon fiber reinforced nylon or whatever. But there's so many plastics that get hot and they get weak. Or they get warm and they get weak. It's like, cool, most things I want to do, I want it to be outside. Or in a car. And neither of those work, but something like that Ultim material, it's so fucking stout. I'm curious what its abrasion resistance is too. I think they mentioned that, I just don't remember. Come on, Island. I want to come and sit down on your little peak up there. Audio, Sean. Nope, not gonna know what the product is. Not until I'm named and labeled and everything with it. I'm doing testing right now. As far as the manufacturing and the taste and everything. But I've made like 15 packs of the product. And I've got them all marked for me to check in like a week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, 2 month, 3 month, etc. So I can start testing shelf life of a couple of the different ingredients and stuff like that. Gonna do some research, see if it's something that I want to mark at. Damn controller, stop fucking buzzing around. To see if it's something I need to market as like an FDA sort of thing, what sort of federal regulations are going to be covering me or holding me back. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's not that exciting. It's stuff that people have done, but I have yet to see somebody market it. Which is the, I won't say the big thing, but it's the thing. That's what we're all about here, is making it marketable. Little antenna. Little harbor area. Very cool. Ooh, looks like a nice flat area for me to sit down and check the messages. Yeah. 3 in the green. Parking brake is on. Now it's off. come over here. A little tree spawning in. I don't like that. Okay, cool. I'm good here. Parking brake on. Look, I'm aware the parking brake's on. You can shush. Okay, and of course we're at 100% now. So I can unplug that. Cool. I'm gonna toss the cord away. I was noticing my AMP course, which works there full time. So I'm sure how much better AMP work is on the Civ side doesn't matter. I like what I'm doing better. Here we're allowed to do nearly everything alongside as we're directed by a certified AMP. That land, I didn't watch the video, forgot about it, but I did pass the info. I'm interested to use the stuff. Man, will that take a customized print? You can tell us what the product is, happy flying, blah 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 blah. Cool. Okay. Now we can, as they say, get into it. Parking brake is off. Still very low on the torque. Very good. Yeah. I'm just putting the gear up. Still many torques to spare, don't you worry. Lights are off, we're good to go. Okay. Yeah, so I like to be A&P, just that way I'm more appealing to owner-operators, contract work, daily flights, stuff like that. Especially with the AMPIA, so I can have the inspector covered on that as well. But that's not a top priority. Though that's also something that I could work out with whatever my future employer may be, because they should all have their own maintenance shop. And I said, hey, I know I'm working half the time here and half the time there. Or half time, because it's usually like 7 days on, 7 days off, or whatever. It's like, look, I'd be willing to work in the on the mechanic side those other 5 to 7 days to learn, and because the way my brain works, I think it'd make me a better pilot as well, knowing all the intricacies of everything. That's just kind of how my brain works to begin with. Okay, where's my mouse? Oh, too far. Of course, I didn't save that extra bit of course on here that I wanted, because I want to come down here to this. This island, there's an airport there. So at the end of this island chain, we're making kind of a more southerly turn. Hey, people in here, glad y'all are here. Feel free to say what's up if you haven't already. The chat's open and mostly friendly. If you're wondering where we're at, we're somewhere north of Okinawa. About an hour and a half, I would assume, from Okinawa. But definitely not 3 hours. Cruising at 145, 150 knots or so. Kind of island hopping as we go down. Got our co-pilot Letty next to us. And we're just fucking vibing. I don't know why she doesn't keep her feet on the ground. That's the weirdest fucking thing. It's like she's too short to make her feet reach the ground. Oh. Yeah, just an average, normal-ish day. So there's a couple of heliports off to my left over there, or helipads. And also, cruising over V&E, we're close. Right now I'm showing the red line to be the 150-ish mark. We may have bumped over a couple of times. But I'm also kind of in my brain pretending this is the 160 and we can get a little bit more speed out of it. Because the 160 pissed me off because I was looking forward to flying that today. Yeah, I feel like if I was ever buying a, I don't want to say a vintage short stream day, shortish. I did get to bed early the past 2 nights and it felt great. So I'm not trying to, I don't want to say push my luck too much, but I don't want to bite the nice healthy hand that's feeding me, you know? So if I can knock a wee bit of time off of that, then I'll do that. And we're not really seeing much. 138. I don't know, maybe this is a later model, bigger engine, different blade pattern, something. I don't know, it shows my airspeed red line to be 150. It's modeled wrong. Oh, dumb. Well, I'm going to continue cruising over V&E. I'm going to consider this a test vehicle built by Bell to explore the upper limits of speed capabilities. So we're flying a prototype here now. This is now the Bell 222BA for badass. Bravo accelerated. Because I know there's a 222... I don't know the B model. I know this is the B and this is a retractable gear. I do know there is a skid version as well, but I don't know what the limitations on the skid models are. Okay, but here probably comes one of our larger water crossings of the day once we clear the next little island past this one. And actually, I want to split the right side of this first, mount the left side, the big one. Oh yeah, 222s, they did a lot of different things. I mean, it's basically a fucking Huey with retractable gear. Or a twin-engine Huey. With retractable gear. Got the huge fucking blades on it. I think it's like the same rotor head setup minus the teeter bar on it. I think this was built because they did they did an experiment with the Hueys where they took the teeter bar off the top. They did aerodynamic fairings over everything. And they were able to get like so much more performance out of it just because of the just the aerodynamic efficiency of it, you know, whatever. So I feel like this model kind of came from the lessons learned with that, and they were like, okay, cool, let's kind of put this aerodynamic idea set into effect. Twin Huey 212. Yep. Isn't 214 just like a slightly longer version of the Twin Huey? Because I know there's a couple of McDermott's. That's kind of like their thing down there, isn't it? Which doesn't, Instagram chick Lily Pink, doesn't she fly for McDermott? But I want to say they're even looking at like rebuilding all the tooling and stuff for the 214s to bring them back more into service. But I really, really do like the 214 STs. I think they're so fucking cool. And the cool thing was too, somebody actually was ballsy enough to bring one of those up to, not somebody, McDermott was. They were cool enough to ship a 214 ST all the way to Verticon this year, so very big on them. Thank you, McDermott, for doing that and appeasing those of us who were interested. .214 single engine, okay. I know aren't there twin engine variants of the more limousine models? I keep calling it limousine models because they just seem longer, they look longer in all the pictures. I don't know. Anyways, the McDermott ships, I like them. They're very cool. And that huge fucking exhaust port for the single engine is massive. Verticon this year will be in Atlanta. Very fun fact. Last year I think it was Dallas or Anaheim, one or the other. But I do plan on making my way into it this coming year. When I say this coming year, it'll be 2026. .214 ST is the twin. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, they're very cool platforms. I like them a lot. And I maybe it's something that's wrong with me, but I've just got a thing for the huge, thick two-blade helicopters. Oh, when is it? I want to say like February or March 2016. Yeah, I kind of have a thing for the big, thick two-blade suckers. You know, it's like, sure, little Robinson two-blade, neat. You know, I got a thing for two blades anyway, just because you can park them in an RV or camper-sized garage port, as long as it's tall enough, because you can just straight to back, front to back the blades and and scooter in there. Of course, there are some 3, 4, 5 blade helicopters with folding blade designs. If we're just talking something off the street, you can get a 2-blade one, put it into like a camper-sized garage port, and it just makes storage easier for a private owner. With that said, though, for my attraction two-blade systems, stuff like the 214 and Hueys and like the Cobras, if you want to look at like Warbirds, and the blades are so fucking big. Just like in this helicopter, the blades are huge. It's almost like having like a Cessna rotating on top of you. March 9th to 12th, perfect timing for the birthday. Nice. Yeah, I think you can get in for free if you're a student pilot. If not, you have to apply to get in or something like that. So I'm going to be looking into if I can do it as a helicopter streamer influencer with all my influence that I have here. Or if I'm not already in class by then. Which that should be near the end of the second, or the full filming of the next season of the show. We'll probably go until mid-March. So there's a good chance that I'll be into much more into the money by then. It's going to be interesting. Oh yeah, the R88 blades. I mean, I would assume like comparable to the 206L, if not slightly bigger. If we're just talking about girth or thickness, whatever, overall. Because I mean, more or less, the more weight that the helicopter moves, the thicker the blade is. You know, if we're just talking about keeping the same number of blades. So I'd assume 204L-ish. And that would be its nearest competition as far as other two-blade helicopters. Of course, nobody else does it. I mean, because then it's also competing with the, it's like partially competing with the H-130, I would assume. But I feel like they're going to ask for more lifting capability out of it than what an H-130 would be. I don't remember if they released any of those figures yet, though. I know they said, like, oh man, we want X amount of people to be in it, and it's going to be this much horsepower or whatever, but they purposefully didn't release the, or show the rotor head or anything else at the reveal, because they said, like, most good engineers can look at the rotor head and rotor size and design and stuff of a helicopter and figure out a lot about performance, and they kind of wanted to keep those cards close to their chest. From what one of the interviews, I think it was with David, the CEO, that I heard. But either way, like, I'll be interested to see it. I don't know if I'm going to be a fan of it or not. It's not bad, but I'm not quite in love with it. You know, it kind of looks like they just took an R66 and kind of like blew it up a little bit. Made it fatter. Which, I mean, that's basically what it is. It's just a more modern, or extremely more modern R66 that's just wide with rear access. Yeah, it's definitely not the prettiest machine, that's for sure. But then again, it keeps pretty close to their ethos and what their design language is anyways. Just like with Airbus making their stuff, like, you can look at and pretty much tell it's an Airbus. You can look at a Bell and pretty much tell that it's a Bell. You can look like an Augusta Leonardo, like, you can pretty much tell that's what it is. Everybody kind of has their own type of design language, so, like, I get it, you know. Stick to what you know, stick to what you're good at, stick to what people will brand identify, because brand identity is a big thing too. So I'm not gonna to blame or judge them too hard about that. But it'll be interesting to see, you know. Didn't they say they were using like the were they doing the aerial engine? Did they say what engine they were using yet? I know they said it was going to be like 800, either 650 to 800 horsepower, somewhere in there. I don't remember. Oop, I can finally see a little bit of land way out there, darkening the clouds up. I don't know if y'all can see that, but like dead ahead, I'll put it right next to the wiper blade. Right there. Yeah, aerial. Yeah, so they're using somebody reputable for engine and power plant, so I'm not super worried about any of that going on. I assume if they're doing that, then they're probably using a gearbox system that's already been figured out and tried and tested and proven, and then they just said, okay, cool. Instead of it being tuned for 390 RPM or whatever for a 3-blade, like the aerial is being used in an Airbus or whatever, so we want it to be at 340 RPM optimized or whatever. So it's probably all relatively figured out, tried and true, and reliable enough. 1,000 shaft horsepower, okay. How do you attend Verticon? The website to make it look like you need to be a pilot. I think you can go as press, you can go as a student. I feel like you can just go as long as you pay for a ticket, or if you're in the industry or related to the industry somehow. And I feel like also if you send them an email, they'll tell you. Because other things that I've heard too, I've yet to reach out to them myself, but I have heard that they have a very good customer service team. W. Got it. But even if it's something like that, it'll look cool. I'll if I'm not already in school or privated by then, I'll go ahead and get started in class just to get to that point, you know. Just walk and act like you don't want to. Entries aren't open yet. Yeah, it's still super far out, so. And don't walk in acting like you don't know anything. Walk in acting like you belong to be there, and they should feel bad for questioning you if you go in there. Like, go in wearing like a full astronaut flight suit, or do the carry a ladder thing with a highlighter vest. So VAI, Verticon, or it used to be HAI for helicopter, but now it's V for vertical, because they're starting to bring in everybody that's more on the vertical side. So drones, UAVs, whatever you'd like to call them. Because you have people like Rotor AI who's doing the remote controlled Robinson. I think they're using a 44. And they want to do that for stuff like agricultural work to make it safer, be able to put more payload on it. because their system weighs less than what a pilot and everything would, so you can put more payload in there and have the pilot safely somewhere, which I get it, but it's fucking taking the jobs, so that's understandable, but I fucking hate it. Also, a lot of drone people are already kind of in the helicopter space anyways. A lot of surveys for utility and stuff like that. When we were working on one of the last episodes for Will Trent, they we were filming at this house, and we were all set up in the front yard with our tents and stuff because they were filming inside. And this larger drone, like a 6-rotor or 8-rotor, or even just like a super, super large 4-rotor drone, was kind of hovering and making its way down and stopping kind of like along the power line by the road. Everybody's like, are they spying on us? Because we've had paparazzi and stuff before do some wild shit. I was like, no, I think it's the power company, because they were stopping near poles and transformers and stuff like that. I assume doing survey for foliage and plants and whatever. But also, I would assume thermal, looking at heat on different stuff. And then lo and behold, a few minutes later, a whole bunch of power trucks rolled up to a power line where it intersected to like a larger cross-country line on the edge of the property. And they were working on stuff there, so there's a lot of drone stuff already being implemented, so there's really no place for all the drone stuff in the, like, they didn't have their own convention, or it wouldn't have been big enough to make it worth it, so HAI just accumulated it and turned it into BAI. F-35 Bravo, what about the F-35? Oh, the island's so close yet it's so far away. It's like 20 miles. But we cruise in 150, so. Oh, F-35 VTOL. I don't know how the event center would cope. A lot more clouds popping in here. I don't know how the event center would cope with an F-35 trying to land. I don't think the parking lot's an approved area for the amount of thrust that comes out of those things. Also, we might just be slightly up some because we are cloudish level now. But I did want a little bit of altitude, so I brought this on myself. .3,000 feet in climbing, and we'll be at 5,000 by the time we get to Get to our little island down here. Then we can start a descent down to the next little island. That's where our midway-ish, or I think it's more than midway. We're probably midway right now. Curious if we can see. So there's an airplane coming up to our behind us and to the left a little bit. It's probably up high. Start to level off and put our speed back in. We're at 5,000 feet, pretty happy with that. Literally just feels like we're fucking hovering. Oh, little island. Hello. Oh, you're way over there. I think we're actually closer to the big island, which is kind of hidden behind all of that. Oh yeah, I can see it up there in front of us now. Mouse. Super exciting flight today, guys. Glad y'all are here. If you too enjoy flying over the water, make sure to hit the like button, because we have so much more of this coming up. And this is the torture we put ourselves in. We do this, and we'll be at land soon enough. And then we'll be doing more water jumps. A lot of this for the next week and a half. We'll try to shoot down to Australia as quick as possible, though. Because that will get us a good week and a half of land days. Good 10 days or so. Maybe less. Land days I seem to be much more excited about doing. Because I won't just be sitting there for 3 or 4 hours during a flight going like this, you know. Land days are much more enjoyable. Some AS350 things. But really probably a bit of everything. We might do the faster retractable gear helicopters as we start heading out west. Just to speed up the desert days, you know. Like for me, I really enjoy the Bell 206 Bravo and 206L. Really smooth to fly. I enjoy the way that they have the handling flight model of them set up. So we'll probably have a good bit of Bell days. 350, of course, just because super solid to fly, super agile, I'm very handy with it. We can do a lot more low the ground explory type stuff with that. I feel a lot more comfortable with it. We'll have an MD day in there, I'm sure. Haven't done too much MD stuff, but we have. I know at least once or twice. It'll be a good variety. Because if I do the same thing over and over and over again, 350 the whole way? Hell no. I enjoy it, but part of this is me doing it because I want to. I don't have to do this. So if it's going to be something that's going to burn me out, then I'll just avoid it. That's kind of why I didn't do it flying it yesterday or the day before, because it's like, okay, cool. I don't want to force burnout on myself, because then I'm not going to enjoy hopping on stream. Especially if I did it like yesterday. I don't want to say just kind of feeling out of it, but being forced to hop on yesterday and to do a big water day. I wouldn't have been too enthused about it. Is that Joe in an old account where he had Georgia Plane Spotting's name? Joe, welcome back. Or Ronnie, welcome back. One of you fellas. Yep. Slow day today. When I say slow day, I mean fast day. We're fucking cruising. But it's all over water, so it just kind of seems like we're doing nothing the whole time. You know? Everybody just says hello, Joe. It's not who is Joe, it's what's your Joe. A little bit more left in it, like a 2-1 heading. Damn, that's a thick cloud. The other ones you can kind of see through. That one's a straight. That's not a cheater cloud. That's a fucking IFR cloud right there. Joe's blind spotting. Yeah, same difference. Fucking clouds are getting thicker. But that's one thing I did expect. There's more weather the further south that we got. Still no weather in front of us, so we're good. Hey, only another 20 miles until our stop. And then another 35 to 45 minutes until the end, potentially. Not bad. Hello, clouds. Y'all seem mildly in my way now. But that's okay, you don't scare me. We're just the world's slowest airplane. That's no big deal. And we're faster than a lot of fucking airplanes actually right now, 140 knots. Blowing the doors off some fucking Cubs right now. Yeah, these are a couple of not joking around clouds, that's for sure. I think once we get past a few more of these clouds, oh look, I can see land kind of off to the left up there. Is that our island or is it a little island? I think that's one of the small islands. Not worried about that then. We're going to continue course. A 2122 heading. Yeah, super riveting. Thank you guys for just fucking sitting here. Because that's all I'm doing. I bet it's pretty fucking unnerving. Just be flying over fucking open ocean and nothing big, nothing that's like made for or really designed for big water crossings. I mean, it's not like planes are meant to fly across water or anything. Everything's meant to fucking fly. But to be in a vehicle that's made to be in the air or sit on the ground, and if something messes up while it's in the air, then you should land and put it down somewhere so you can fix it. Not having that escape, not having that place to go must be wild. Just like that guy that flew from South Africa all the way up the coast of Africa, then went west across over to the islands down south of Florida, and did a full fucking crossing in a sling something, fucking like a high-wing Cessna kit plane. Absolutely fucking insane. They looked at it and said, "Oh, yep, this is possible, let's do this." Then instead of fucking doing the same thing of flying all the way to the north end of Africa, then flying up through like Portugal, Spain, UK, then doing the Greenland cross, and they did a fucking like 14-hour flight from the far western side of Africa and the Canaries, and then went all the way to the Bahamas. Or like British Virgin Islands, or somewhere that was way, way, way on the most eastern islands or whatever that matched up for that. Fucking absolute mad lads. Can't even imagine how nerve-wracking that would be in a small plane, much less one that you built. I'm sure it's nothing against what they built also, you know, it's probably a solid plane. I'd almost rather do it in a plane that I built myself. Knowing what I know, it's like, okay, cool, like you can get well, if you're looking like new to new, then yeah, maybe get a Cessna 182, 172, something that's going to get you the distance and reliability. But if you're looking at cost to cost, like, let's just say that kit plane's $100,000. There's not many other $100,000 vehicles that I would trust to get me safely all the way from there to there. You know, maybe a boat, a sailboat, something. Yeah, 14 hours nonstop in a sling. They flew it to Oshkosh last year. That was part of their trip. You can look it up. I actually watched a video of that guy, or a series of videos, a long time ago. One of the YouTube channels that I would frequent and watch more or less daily was a channel called Fun for Louis, spelled Louis, Louis. And it was a travel channel where this guy would travel, you know, go places. And one of the things that he did one time was go to South Africa. And then him, and I think his name's like JB or JT or something, and they did a lot of flying around African countries, going around hitting a lot of neat places. But I want to say that was in something like it was a low wing. I forget what it was. What the fuck was it? Anyways, they did that. It might have been an RV. Maybe. I feel like it was one of those more speedy looking RVs. It's not an RV. I can't think of the name of the plane for the life of me. Yeah, Fun for Louis was always a neat channel. I don't know why I stopped watching them. I don't know if he just started getting stupid for like things he was saying or doing or whatever, because a lot of people will try to start putting like political beliefs and stuff into videos. And usually once people start using their platform to talk at you, I stop watching. So it's possible that he started doing that, because I feel like I stopped watching back during a lot of that stuff. I don't know. Ace, what up? We're currently getting up to Romeo Juliet Kilo November, south of Japan. Kind of like a few islands north of Okinawa. I'm stopping in there for fuel. If you want to play along, I'm in a Bell 222 Bravo, and I should have my server listed in the description. But we're going fast today. We're going 150 knots, so it may have been a TIA. The one that they flew across the Atlantic, maybe. But the one that he did the Fun for Louis thing with, it wasn't a sling aircraft. Do you watch Jimmy's World, Georgia Plane Spotting? If so, I think it's the same plane as Cameron. The plane that he named Cameron, the one with like kind of like the bubble roof where the sunshade is kind of like a curtain that slides on a track that's melted to the canopy. I think it was one of those. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a sling. Like I've looked into them a good bit. I think they're super, super solid for what they are. There's a flight school in LA that almost exclusively uses slings, or they only use, they might actually be exclusive. But I mean, super solid. They use real fucking engines. It's not like some weird experimental engine. Yes, you do watch Jimmy's World. Nice. I don't know the name of the plane that he called it was Cameron. He sold it, but it was the same plane that he raced southwest from Tampa to New Orleans or whatever. Because it's like one of those faster single engine type of planes. Okay, let's start focusing on some sort of approach down here. Yeah, what's the guy's name's JB? Anyway, he had a good series of them doing the cross-Atlantic thing. One of the guys in his group, because they did it as a group of like 3 or 4 airplanes, one of the guys was even having problems like midway over the Atlantic. So it was very neat to see their troubleshooting. Lancer, that's it. Feel like it might have been a Lancer, but also it may have been an RV, because they both kind of had that same bubble roof sort of thing. Okay, let's kill some of this speed off a bit. Collective down. Cyclid's still kind of being held straight. But it'll bleed. The place we're looking for is just on the other side of those hills over there, because you can see if I do this. The Tokuno Shima. I'm going in there for a quick splash and dash. think a Lancer would be cool. I enjoyed watching the videos of that. And like part of me feels, I don't know what I'd get more use out of, you know, really. Honestly, if I had a PC-12, I'd get a shit ton of use out of it. If I had the money for a PC-12 and to like run a program with that, I could use the shit out of that. Because there's a lot of places that I need to go that I end up driving for hours and hours and hours, and it's not like I'm going somewhere where I need to drive around and do a whole bunch of stuff, you know. I'd use the piss out of a PC-12. But at the same time, like, for a lot of the more localish sort of things, I don't want to say a 172. I'd much prefer a 182 just for payload, you know. I mean, I could use the shit out of one of those as well. Oop, planes on the ground starting to populate in over there. $168 spinning roll home build. If I had the money, money to spare, I'd buy it. Yeah. Yeah, Lancers are cool. The slings are such a good fucking deal, though. I mean, RVs, they're super well fucking known. I feel like there are some questionable home-built experimentals. But there's also some really, really good ones, you know. I don't think it's too much of a fret for the most part. Okay, Toke Uno Shima Tower, this is helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. We are inbound for the ramp fuel box. We are staying clear of your active to the east. Something Oshima Tower. Like the TBMs, super cool. I like the TBMs. I like the robustness of the PCs and just the Pilatuses in general. And it's like if we want to talk turbine engine, you know, there's a lot of really, really cool private jet stuff. I'm a big fan of the Phenom series, 100s, 300s, the smaller ones. Of course, like, you can't say, no, I don't like the G650. Oh man, you're just fucking stupid. You know, it's such a quality aircraft. When you start getting into, like, higher end PJs and stuff like that. But as far as the mid-range, lower end and stuff, like, I would give up a lot of range and a lot of speed and a lot of everything, you know, just to be in the PC-24. Because it doesn't go as far, it doesn't go as fast, doesn't go as high. But they do a lot of cool things with that airplane that make me attracted to that helicopter, you know, if that makes sense. Gear going down. Looking for the fuel stands. There's a truck there. Wind a little bit to our left right now. Gears down, parking brakes off. What? The fuck do you mean I crashed? I didn't do a fucking thing. You guys saw that. I didn't do anything. I'm not taking that L. Just like doing this stuff over in Australia the other day doing their shenanigans. There's just something, there's a ghost or something that's kind of floating in the air, something there that we'd run into. Which either way, we were at our fuel stop, so our respawn would be here anyways. And now, just to keep it from fucking trying to kill us, we're just gonna stop here and let the fuel truck come to us. And Joe's one of those little pranksters. Anyways, F, fuel topped off. And let's see which way we're heading. Well, basically just going directly the opposite way that I'm facing. Like, at 2-3 heading-ish. Island, then we're on Okinawa Island, and then it's just a matter of making our way to the airport on the south end. Super easy. Ace, you still in here? You hopping in? No, that's obviously not an A320. I don't know what on earth would make you think that. Let's see, everything's still good. Of course, with the fucking respawn because of that bullshit. We'll take the fuel prime off once we get going. Why is the seatbelt sign on? I don't... What do you mean no smoking? Fuck that. Take your seatbelts off. Light up, boys. What are you doing? Okay, so I want to go in and start heading down from... I don't see you, but maybe you'll spawn in. Let me make sure my, all my stuff's set. Live players. Cool. I don't see you, but if you're here, let's go for it. Park and brake off. Picking up. Yeah, I just see the JAC 3841. Okay, we're kind of taking a 2-1 to 2-4 heading, kind of something in that general direction. We're heading down this island chain, heading towards Okinawa. Let's get gear up while we're picking up speed. Beep, 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 beep. Silence. Smoking is always allowed on these flights. Why else would they have ashtrays if they didn't want smoking, you know? I can already see our next island up in front of us through the clouds. So we have a good visual reference point to aim towards. Okay. Now that we're going, I assume Ace is with me. I can't see him. Maybe he'll spawn in eventually. But we're going for it. Let's slowly step our speed up to around the 130 to 150 mark. But I will say the invention product thing that I'm making, did a couple of trial runs with it today and a couple of different preparation methods. And the flavor's good. Flavor's good. It's where I want it to be. So I've got a few things packaged and sitting now, so I can try those as time goes on. Very pleased with it. I think I'm going to take some to my friend's house this weekend as we go do lake stuff. But I'm also very excited to go up there because my friend, he's working on his boat, but another guy, the one that I did the scuba recovery stuff with, he invited me to come up. And he's very, very well off. He owns an import-export business, doing legitimate import-export stuff, not the Colombian brand. He's had his own private jet at a couple of points. Very well off man. So I'm excited to hang out with people like that. You know, it's like it's one of those things where you always put yourself in the room where you're like the dumbest person in the room, because you can always learn so much from people that are like that. Business stuff, and at the same time it's like I am into the idea of, I won't say buying businesses, but it's something that I would like to pursue soon. I want to buy some businesses, because there are a lot of people who are business owners, who are people that have been working their whole life to build and to put together some sort of business or industry or whatever. And they do it with the assumption that their kid's going to take over one day. And then they get to the age of 65 or 70 after making millions of dollars and doing well for themselves. Bills paid, living upper middle class, upper class, you know. And their kids want nothing to do with it. Their kid went to an Ivy League school, and now their kid's a lawyer, and they don't want anything to do with the plumbing company, the window washing company, the smaller construction company, you know. And a lot of stuff like that doesn't take super deep knowledge of the industry to run. It takes somebody who's good at business to run. So you can a lot of times get into these businesses for relatively cheap. Do stuff like owner financing, where let's say it's a company that makes $1 million a year. Usually a fair asking price for something like that would be like 2 to 4 million. It's usually like 2 to 4 years of what revenue would be. But for a lot of these people, like, they can't sell the business for $2 million. Nobody wants it because nobody has that money to put into it. Where they could be way too small for Wall Street or like a private investment firm to look into them. or they could be too big for their competitors to look into purchasing or whatever. So there's a lot of times you can make deals with these guys where it's like, hey, I don't have the money, but I have the the knowledge on how to run your business. So what I'll do an owner financing thing with you where you're comfortable with your company, you're comfortable with the employees that you have, and your company, or you're happy with the direction it's going, and you know your business can make $1 million a year. So how about for the next 10 years, for the cost of $2 million or whatever, I pay you X amount of dollars a year as basically like a salary. Owner finance it through them, because if they believe their business can do it, then why not? There's a decent income coming in from owner financing. So that's something I'm looking into, because you're never going to get out of the basic 9 to 5, whether it be the mindset or the grind or whatever, just only working for somebody else, unless you get some weird cushy position. But being a business owner, that's a different way. You can really do good with that. So I'd love to talk to him about his import-export business, learn the ins and outs, because there's a lot of pertinent information that you can learn from that, just because of the nature of it. All the regulation stuff that you can learn that's invaluable. So many contacts to make through it. He's a pilot himself, so there's a lot of good that you can get from networking with somebody like that, especially in his position. A lot of people in his neighborhood on this lake are business owners. So to find people like that and talk to them or whatever, super, super good. And just super, super, said that a lot. Very good person to talk to. And there's a lot of people in his neighborhood that are business owners that aren't super big, multi-million-dollar business owners. There's a handful of people in the neighborhood that have businesses that may do $300,000 a year in revenue. And they're all getting older, which means they could be that person that's ready to get out of their business for something like owner financing or a cheap buyout, where it's they just want a cash hit to get out, and then everything else is gone because nobody else will want to buy it, So, something I'm looking into. I don't want to be the person chasing a million different income streams. I'd much rather be a person chasing businesses, and even though they would be separate income streams, to have them all under a personal holdings company or something like that. Because I feel like that's going to be the only way to get out of it, to be at the point where you're not worried about checking a bank account when you wake up. You have to be in some sort of ownership position. Which, I do well now. I don't worry waking up or looking at anything, but I also do know that I do need to work. I don't have enough invested in different places to where my passive incomes, if you want to call it that, work for me. Stocks do all right, crypto does all right, but nothing's retire and sit around good yet. So that's what I'm hunting. I want that laundromat that's been around for 35 years, 40 years, and people are looking to retire. Because then at the same time, on a lot of these places, you get property and stuff with it as well, which is a big thing. Yeah, it's weird, Ace, I don't see in here. But you're here in spirit for me, so. So I want to try to stay here below 1,000. That'll keep me below these fucking dark clouds. They're not really dark, but thick. So I can come up here. I want to plug IFR real quick just to see how bad it is. Yeah, it's a bit nasty up here. I don't like that. We'll get back down out of those. I don't want to deal with that. Get that collector down. We'll stay away from those fucking clouds. The next island should be kind of at this direction here, 2-1 or so. I really don't want to go above the clouds. This is just like a fucking piss haze sort of cloud situation. Like, look how garbage that looks over there. Cool, once I cross this ground, I'll be looking for our next island, which should kind of be pretty much dead in front of us, if not off to the left just a little bit. That'll be our next point of reference. Still cruising 140. Ace may or may not be with us. Ace driver, thanks for following along. Islands are relatively flat down here, that's interesting. Now the first couple of islands we flew by were pretty much just volcanoes sticking out of the water. These are all relatively low. Okay, next island's definitely a straight ahead thing now. Can't see it. Maybe that's it over kind of to the leftish a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I see it on the horizon over there. So we'll lock in this here at 2-1. And then from there it's an even shorter hop. Looks like about a 10-mile jump over the water here. What I need to do is get near the water down here and rethrow my altimeter. Ace, hold on with me for a second. I'm going to slow down over here and do an altimeter set just that way, since we're flying through some bullshit. I can, you know, at least so I'm just going to sit down on this beach, since I know that's sea level for us, or sit down over here near the beach. Anyway, something down here next to the water. Reset the altimeter because we're about 200 feet off. And I want to be able to play more accurately since we're going through near IFR conditions. No, about 150 feet off. Not that bad. Altimeter 2977, in case you're wondering, Ace. Okay. Flying in the 210 direction now. Let's go. You can see the island out there. It looks like we're pretty clear down low. Okay. It's a nice little hack here around the water. Especially flying over water, it's like, okay, cool, you can trust your altimeter as long as you set it while you're next to the water. Because, I mean, who knows what altimeter is between all these islands, all the little weather bits going on around here. Could be anything. I think I even see the Okinawa island beyond this one, but we'll just play one at a time. Don't want to get too much into it. Yeah, today's flight, I definitely see all these water flights definitely more as a chore. I don't think we're going to really have any boring over the land days except for maybe one or 2 days going through like middle Australia. Maybe a bit in the desert doing Afghanistan, Iraq area. Greenland's gonna suck, and northern Canada's gonna suck. Other than that, I think all of our overground days are going to be interesting, at least from here. Six people watching. Welcome to Flying Over Water Simulator 2024. As you can see, we're flying over water. About an island and a half north of Okinawa, Japan, currently. I'm not saying I don't want to work oil rig jobs to take people out to oil rigs, because good time miller, there's some days where you can get 6-7 hours, you know? And you become like intimately familiar with that helicopter too, just because you're spending so much time in it day. Kind of like how Tom was saying, they do all the fucking, those super busy, super long days. Doing stuff, I think he was saying like the 44s or whatever. But Yeah, at the end of the day for me, like a job doing this is a job doing this. I'd be happy regardless. Like how fucking cool is it to have a job as a helicopter pilot? It's not boring. I mean, it could be some situations, but it's just like the job itself is not a. It's not a boring job in and of itself. It's not a. Oh, cool! I'm an accountant. I go to the office every day, and I look at stuff and I do stuff. It's a very neat thing that you get to do. There's Ace. He's finally on my screen. Saw that second plane, my screen kind of behind us there. So I finally see, but like I said, I'm cruising fucking today, bud. Pretty sure I see Okinawa Island beyond it. Or whatever the name of that island is. I don't know if that's the name of it, but that's where Okinawa is. Oop, weather cleared up some. Look at this blue fucking lagoon on this one. Holy shit. I'm coming over to the big beach kind of on the northeast of this island here, Ace. Oh, there's even a little airport here, Rory. Oh, the weather kind of clicked back to shit again. Thanks. Ugh. What a cool fucking island this is. Not because the island in itself is cool. Japan Airlines runs in and out of here. Out of Rory. Romeo, Oscar, Romeo, Yankee. Look how blue this water is, though. It's like the whole northeast of this island is just probably a whole bunch of fucking resort and stuff around here. I'm slowing my roll a bit so you can catch up, Ace. I definitely see the next island down there. I bet so many fucking people snorkel here. Powerade water, let's go. And that island's much closer. Or there's just that much more of a hill on there to where it's very obvious. No, it's 30% closer. Not bad. Not bad at all. Actually, I want to swing by this airport just to see what it looks like. It's only just after midnight for me. I don't mind a minute or two detour. There's another AT-43 over here. So it's going to have some sort of substantial-ish runway. Okay, not bad. Okay, to the south we go. Oh wow, I didn't get a lot of these messages. Helicopters are usually on the north end of PDK, northwest side of PDK. How far to adjust your time of day? Bahamas and Japan. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about with you, Tom. My bad. No, I think it was maybe the, how you were saying y'all had like the super long days. Where you're doing like the 100-hour inspections like once a week or something like that. Or it was something where you were telling me about just like an ungodly amount of time that y'all would put on the ships. They made Japanese Bahamas in Minecraft? But yeah, Georgia Plains spot northwest side of PDK. There's not really a good place to like spot up there. I was able to get on ramp once just because I was with my friend Brady who works up at PDK. And we were up there talking to the people at the helicopter place itself, all the mechanics and stuff. But they had a 145 taken apart in there, and I think they were doing maintenance on. They were doing like an engine maintenance thing on a EC 145. So C2, I believe. Still an exposed tail rotor. But and they had another one just H145 D2. They were just doing normal maintenance stuff on. How wild is it that during World War II we had taken over this fucking island and it's just like a few hour helicopter hop over from mainland Japan? I don't want to be like, ooh, not a good look, but I mean, like, it was a fucking bloody island, though. Goodness. Okay, but here we go. Water and islands and getting too comfortable on our last island. We can't get too comfortable. That's where the accidents happen. And that's where we go full IFR and freak shit because because the 225 just wants to be an asshole sometimes. Which I don't want to put the blame off of me. But when I almost lost it, getting into whatever that Russian island was in the MD500 that day, that was because my headset started freaking out and I lost visual of where I was. I was doing pretty solid fucking IFR before that, but the headset malfunction really, really screwed me up. And then the one where we were first getting into Japan, that IFR almost killing me twice. I feel like there's something not right with the 225 model. I've felt wrong with it, even in VFR conditions, where its auto trim systems are really weird. And it could just be me not familiar with the systems, you know. Maybe they work perfectly fine, it's just my peripheral doesn't want to work right with it because I don't have self-centering stuff. Who knows? I'll take responsibility for almost killing all of us in the stream on those days. But, like, even today not being a big IFR type of day for this flight, I still didn't want to do the 225. Just because I don't like the way that it flies because of the auto trimming and stuff like that. I can almost super glue my controls in the same place and have it where I'm just pushing slightly forward and slightly backward on the cyclic, or only doing collective stuff for the cyclics, like locked in, you know. And I feel like it could still fucking mess up and kill a whole bunch of airspeed and need a whole bunch of fighting to get itself back up into the right area. I feel like there's something wrong with it. And like I said, that could just be the model being wrong where there is something wrong with it. Or it's very, very likely that it's me just not knowing how to deal with the auto trim systems and the autopilot that it wants to have on. It's almost like taking, like, my fucking grandfather when he was when he got his first new car, like in the newer age. He'd been driving around like a 1970s Oldsmobile forever, but they finally decided to get something more fuel efficient, so they got a newer Honda back in like 2012 or 13 or something like that. But him learning all those systems, it was almost like he didn't know how to fucking drive. So that could be like me with this. If it's got a collective and a cyclic and pedals, like, sure, I can get in it and steer it and put it where it needs to go. But as soon as it starts trying to do its lane departure assist and stuff like that in a car, and he couldn't figure out why it was fighting him, maybe that's me in this thing. You know, maybe it's me fighting all the systems that are made to reduce the workload. Which, to an extent, I'm kind of a purist, you know, like I'd much rather have that pure experience. Of course, that's also my view as I'm here inside the sim, to where I'm doing this out of the enjoyment of doing this. I'm not doing this out of the, oh man, I gotta go to work and I've got like 4 other people's lives in my hand because I have 2 medics and a patient in the back, and then me and a co-pilot, and then it's like I'm not I'm not worried about my workload right now. Right now, I'm just worried about flying and having fun and getting good practice wiggling all the sticks in the correct way, you know? Zenkai, what up? Part 25, we're fucking moving, dude. We are making our way through. And we're over Okinawa Island. Utah. I don't think we did Utah. It might have been north of Utah or Wyoming area because we did Badlands National Park. I think that might have been where we saw you. Anyway, somewhere out there in rural ass America. Yeah, we could be further along, but I need some mental health breaks from not being in a VR helicopter simulator every day. So, taking a couple of days off here and there just to make this where I still enjoy it. Yeah, it was north. It was somewhere back over there in the back hold in the good old US of A, which technically, in the year we're 1944, this would be the US of A right now. Funny, you've been there a bunch. I assume you were stationed out here at some point. Did you get yourself a Japanese wife? Isn't that what everybody does when they work at Okinawa or when they're stationed out here? Dude, Japanese wife would come in clutch right now. Actually, I want a Russian wife. A Russian wife's kind of the goal. Danielson. TDY many times. Did not get me a wife. Darn. Oh well. Yeah, dude, I want me a fucking Russian wife. Old school Orthodoxy, Russian Catholic, Orthodoxy type of mentality. Cooks for their fucking husband. Doesn't put up with any of the super woke lefty shit that's going on. Picking up some pretty decent downdrafts from these mountains. Having to put some more backstick in it. See right there. Losing altitude pretty heavy there. And that was with me adding more back. But the collective was in the same place until the end there. Oh yeah, as long as I can get a good American woman. But the downside is they're so fucking far and few in between. Now with how social media is, with how everything is with it, it's like I would love to have an American woman. Especially like I'm sorry for the wiggliness, I'm resetting my headset. Love to have an American woman, you know, like a Southern woman, good Christian woman. You know, not glued to TikTok, which I refuse TikTok. I actually won't date a woman who has a Snapchat. But yeah, they're just so fucking hard to find now. And then even on top of that, it's like every single one got the needle in the arm back in the 2020 to 2024 times. And I'm not, and I don't want to take a risk of that in my wife and my children, so I want somebody with clean blood. You know, and it's, you just don't fucking find that anymore. It's so rare. Yeah, every second girl has a fucking OnlyFans. Yep, the needle. Which, I'm not mad at people who did. You know, that was the absolute largest propaganda psyop to ever fucking exist, was the whole C-19 situation. You know, like trillions of dollars was poured into making people think that they were about to die. And a lot of people fell for it. A lot of people went for it. My parents, at one point, she was almost in tears asking me to please get it. And they're not even left-leaning people, they're right-leaning people. And I was like, look, the risk of me getting it, it's like a 1 in a million shot of me getting it and it being anything more than the flu. But the risk of me getting the shot is so unknown at the beginning, where people are, of course, all the channels and stuff that I'm listening to are putting out the good information of like, okay, yeah, cool, there's different things to go with the heart, the spike protein's not staying where it needs to do, blah, 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 blah. Like, all the things are already known just from the people that I listen to and the people that I follow, which now they're coming out like, oh my god, this has always been right. Yeah, of course it has. But I'm at much higher risk of being injured from the vaccine than I am of getting COVID. So, whatever. I'll just risk it. Now, it was like a disease going around and like it was killing like 1 in 5 men between the ages of 25 and 45. But if you take the vaccine, you have like a 1 in 30 chance of dying, then yeah, maybe I would consider it, but it wasn't bad. I had it, and it was freaking... I was actively sick for a day. The next day, I felt like I was just like actively exhausted, is my best way to say it, where it's like, even though I was eating and doing everything right, I just felt fucking tired. And the next day, I just felt like I was super, super busy the day before, and just tired and exhausted. And after that, I was fine. It was no big deal. I actually have a friend who's just finished school as an army doctor, and he kept refusing it. They almost court-martialed him, and he kept refusing. And then they finally just gave up on it, and then everything came out where they didn't have to do it. You legally had to... That's a shitty thing about Australia. The government can't legally make me do a fucking thing here. Yeah, it was just a normal fucking cold. And it's like like I said, I ended up getting it, but I was working on a movie set. Was it a movie? Yeah, it was a movie set where everybody else on the set was vaccinated. And then I caught it from one of them. It's like, okay, cool, so you're telling me that your fucking thing didn't work? I have to deal with it now because your shit didn't work? You didn't build your own fucking immunities or anything to it? And now I get some super strain because it made it into your fucking system? Thanks. Yeah, my friend was the army doctor, he was military, he didn't do it. But like I said, he went through a lot of shit to not deal with it. He went through a lot of shit, put up with a lot of shit. I also probably turned down near $250,000 worth of work because the productions were like, hey, we need you to have this and you've got to prove it. And I said, okay, cool, I'll go work somewhere else. I'm not going to do it, you know. I turned down a lot of money, a lot of security in having money in my pocket for turning it down. Now, of course, I don't know everybody's situation, so I can't be like, oh, you obviously could have turned it down. But everybody, in my opinion, has the right to do to themselves what they want to do to themselves. Nobody can force anything on you. They can sure as shit coerce you to do it. I mean, they coerce fucking everybody in the world, basically, to do something about it. But at the end of the day, you always have the power to say no, if it ever comes around again. But it's just... cool, a threat to, like for me, like the threat to be fired or the threat to not have work. For a lot of people, they say like, oh man, well I have to have it then. It's like, no, you don't have to, you can just not work. You know, it hurts. It's a hard truth to tell a lot of people. I know it's harder in the military because like you're kind of contractually locked in, but I do have friends that were able to turn it down successfully. They just had a fucking fight. When I say I have friends, I mean like 3 maybe. One that I talk to regularly, and he's the one that I said's the army doctor now. But you've got to fucking fight for a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, cool, it's an invasive medical procedure. You can fuck off, you know? Yeah, see, that's another fucking wild thing about going in. Oh, cool, we like not letting you into stores or restaurants or whatever. Like, I legitimately hope that people hang because of this. Like, anybody in a public area or a public, like a leader's role or something like that, any sort of public office where they enforced rules like that should fucking hang. And I can be quoted directly for this. People know what my fucking name is, you know. They should hang for that. Yeah, if it got to that, I'd be living in the fucking woods right now. Yeah, it was such an invasion of human rights just in general because of that. If you want to watch something really neat that I kind of paralleled to it, there's the mentalist called Darren Brown. Like the type of the guy who like guess your phone number or guess your phone's password or whatever, like watching how you react to different letters and numbers or whatever. He did a thing called Push to the Edge or The Edge or Pushed or something like that. And he basically little favored people into doing a big, very bad favor. So basically there's a human mentality thing where if you get somebody to do a small favor for you, they are much more likely to do a bigger favor for you instead of like just asking for a big favor right off the rip. It's always better to ask for the little favor first. So what he did, he'd already kind of pre-screened some people without meeting them or knowing, but just like figuring out like who is better off at or more susceptible to suggestion and stuff like that or whatever. And he hired all these people. There's a whole one. The entire event was actors except for the target person. So he gets the target person, and they're like getting some like hors d'oeuvres ready or something to hand out to like this fundraiser event. And they don't have the vegan meat or the vegetarian meat. So they're like, oh cool, well just put the little vegetarian flag on the meat ones. You know, they're supposed to taste the same anyways. Nobody's going to know. So they kind of small favor these people into this first thing. I think I may have talked about this on the stream before. But then they said there's supposed to be a big donor coming to this fundraiser who's going to give like a couple $1 million. But he's a bit of a recluse, and nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows what he looks like. So this person's already kind of dressed up. Nobody's met this person, the target. So when they're meeting some people that come to the fundraiser, they go, oh, you must be Mr. Whoever. And the person's like, they're like nodding like, hey, go along with it, go along with it. So the person's like, oh yeah, that's totally me or whatever or something. Oh no, the first they're like, they didn't say anything about it. And they're like, oh, it's kind of funny they thought I was that person. But anyways, the big donor gets there, and before their speech they have a heart attack and they die. So they're like, hey, the guy's already written the check, but we can't like take the check because he hasn't given the speech about giving the check yet. Like, could you pretend to be him? We've got his notes here. And then you can, afterwards be like, oh yeah, whoever died of a heart attack. And, so the person then agrees to pretend to be this rich recluse that's giving millions of dollars to this charity. Then they come back to find the guy where they helped hide the body earlier, and the guy's not there. And then apparently he found out what they were doing, and he was going to call the police on everybody. And out of the 3 people they attempted to do this with, they convinced 2 of these people to kill the guy by pushing him off of a roof. By little favoring it. So the way I viewed a lot of this whole COVID situation was, okay, cool, like, just get this one little shot, you know, no big deal. Oh, cool, just get this second shot, booster, no big deal. Ooh, get this third shot, ooh, no big deal. Ooh, report your neighbor, you know, no big deal. Oh, somebody said something wrong speak, bad speak, ooh, yeah, just, let's report them too, and just a little favor. So the way I see it was, this was the NWO, or whatever the giant controlling level of people, government, whatever. This was their way of little favoring the entire world into falling for a whole bunch of shit. Do I know that they were all doing it? Do I know that they were all doing it on purpose? No. I think there are literally some people that put no thought behind it, and let's just say whoever was number 1 in charge told all the number 2 and number 3 people. But then all the number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, whatever, all the lower soldiers, like the mayors of the towns that were saying, like, hey, if you get your COVID shot, you get a free Dunkin' Donut or whatever, or free Krispy Kreme. I don't think they knew that this was a big hoax. Or not really a hoax, like, it was obviously, there was something wrong. People were getting sick. But I don't think they knew that everything was as much of a fraud as it actually was. Some people think we're just too stupid to look deeper into it. A lot of people, there's a lot of things that contributed to it, and a lot of, like, self-fulfilling prophecy sort of stuff with it too, where they start feeding it into everybody through the news and through their scientists, and oh, everybody here with Dr. Fauci, I hate him, so his voice, ugh. I feel like there's so much where it just kind of fed into itself, where we didn't even have to hear it from the top of the food chain, just hearing it from a million people telling this, a million people telling you that. All the bad information for treatment and stuff for it, just getting passed around, just made everything worse and worse and worse. So, it kind of self-fulfilled itself, and, you know, people that were going to do it were going to do it. People that aren't as fucking stubborn as me were going to go for it. I'm curious what the actual percentage of people is that went through with it purposefully because they wanted to. People that did it because they didn't feel like they had a choice, kind of like y'all's situation, being in the military, or being like, cool, they're not going to let us in to buy groceries if we don't get it. You know, I wonder what the percentage of people that willingly did it, people that did it against their will, and people that just straight didn't fucking do it. Well, see, I mean, technically it's Friday, but for me, mentally, it's still Thursday night. So I don't know if that technically qualifies for fuck around Friday. What's the name of this airport? Ooh, this is a marine place. Funtima, I think, MCAS. I'm gonna do a fucking low pass down the runway here. Gears up, so we're gonna get low. Get low when the whistle blows. Doom, 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 doom. and gaining altitude again because I don't quite trust there not being another fucking invisible something around here. Adjust your time of day to turn off live player so you can see me. I can see you back there now. Or you were back there a minute ago. But I've been live as far as I know. Oop. Yeah, I've got live and live players all set. See, there we go. I don't show live players. I don't see you. But I've been live. Why did it get loud all of a sudden? Oh, there we go. Weird. Leon, Microsoft Vision Jet. Yeah, I've been on live this entire time. I try to fly live time. Yeah, I see you behind me. So what is the name of this place? This is... Oh, there's so many fucking places. Naha? Maybe? Dude, even the fucking roofs look Japanese. I love this. Naha Airport. This is helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. We are 2 miles to your northeast, inbound for the ramp, looking for fuel and a place to shit and sleep. Naha Tower. Can I fly aeroplanes? I can. I have my cyclic just kind of mapped as a joystick, pedals mapped as pedals. The collective I actually have mapped as my brakes, because before I just had it as a push button, and when you're doing something like a tail dragger, that's just asking to fucking flip forward. So yeah, then throttle is throttle. Okay, we're gonna kind of patrol the ramp and see if we can find a place to park or the fuel or whatever. I think it's kind of in the middle over here. So we'll have to do some runway crossing. Naha Tower, this is helicopter 420 Foxtrot Whiskey. We are going to be patrolling the ramp down to midfield, and then we'll wait for clearance to cross over to the middle to the fuel stand. Naha Tower. See somebody mentioning about a Sears, but I'll address that once we get over to parking. Slow down a little bit. Oh, Leon's taking off. Good for you, Leon. A lot of small aviation parking here. Good for you, Leon. Get out of here. I don't know where you're going, but get out of here. nice little hover taxi. Or more, it's like kind of more of an air taxi, really. We're kind of scooting a bit. Hey Tower, we're gonna kind of shuffle over to the right now. Don't worry, we're watching. Clear front, clear back. Is that a vehicle or was that fuel over here? It's a vehicle in a parking place, isn't it? Yep. I think we're gonna be down here near these trucks. I'm not overflying you. I'm actually going to try to taxi in. I've got wheels, gears down, might as well. Brake on. Boop. Parking brake. Sick. Throttling down. I hear you, Ace. There you are. I can hear your little engines running around me somewhere. Cirrus SR-22 or Vision Jet? Or SR-20, or some other sort of Cirrus. Cool. Shift C. There we go, guys. Good fucking flight today. Nothing crazy, just easy choose across some areas. DK-30. I definitely don't have a fucking DK-30. Single prop pusher. Okay. I definitely don't have one. I don't even know if I have a pusher. Ace, I'm hopping out of this lobby. Big shout out to Ace flying along with us. But I may go do a quick fixed wing flight somewhere. And if not, then we'll be done. But as far as our moving around the world trip today, we're now in Okinawa, so we'll be Okinawa next time. Are starting out in Okinawa for the next leg. So now we're locked in here. Got Ace Driver riding along with us. Okay, let's go to airplanes real quick. Hot air balloon, Aero, Air 39, or L39 Albatross, air tractor, the Aero Elvira Optica, weird. Fucking turbofan pusher. Big Airbuses, big Airbuses, big Airbuses, helicopter, helicopter. Antonov, AN2, AN2 530, and AN2 come over from 2020 somehow. Pitts, Beechcraft, Boeings, CGS Hawk, look a little ultralight, F-18, Cessna 172, 185, 208, I guess it is a 208, I know a 206 exists too, 404, 400, 188 air tractor, or ag truck, okay, yeah, air tractor, fucking 408, SR-22. I see your airports listed. If you see an airplane I'm going through, tell me that one. Vision Jet. Where the fuck this thing is a cab for. Looks like a 172 with extra steps. More helis, Cub Crafters. Some Carbon Cubs. Old fucking wooden plane. TBM 930. Some Diamonds to Haviland. Sea-Wing. Douglas DC-3. Shit, I didn't know that was in here. Extra 330 stunt plane. A-10 Thunderbolt. The Warthog. Flight Design CTSL. Helicopters. This little fucking weird thing. Okay. Grumman's. ES-30's cool looking. Giant ass Hughes. Icon, JMB, Gyro, P-51, cool. SR-22 in red. CI. Evolution Red. Saving back, I'm not even going to worry about fuel with it. Because I feel like half a tank's going to be more than enough of what it spawns us with. Car. No, saving back. Saving back. I'm going to do Yankee Whiskey, Sierra Golf. Watts Bridge. Says departure. And our place that we're going is Yankee Tango Whiskey Bravo. Toowoomba. Cool, looks like we're taking off from 21. Heading down. Hitting pattern and landing on 29. Except I'm not gonna fucking use that pattern. Cool, let's go. A lot of the SRs have fucking cool liveries on it. Cirruses are just solid planes from my understanding too. Look at this, it's even wearing its underwear for us. How sexy. Tied up and everything, babe. Do I get a start button anywhere? Ah, there we go. Okay. Take your shoes off. Take your pedo cover off. Wheel chock. Take your engine cover off. Take your underwear off. Look at you. I don't want to look at anything. As long as everything looks good, I'm going to assume it is good. Okay. Sitting a little low. Bitch. God dang it. Fucking Elaine. Okay, I guess this is as tall as I can get. Let's see. Fuel selector. Boost pump prime. Flaps, oxygen. Not going to be doing any autopilot stuff. Batteries, altimeters, engine start. Da 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 da. Cool. Looks simple enough. What do you guys think? Can I figure it out? Battery 1, battery 2. Strobe. Da da da. Cool. Sick. Well, that's good. Turn boost pump on during takeoff, climb, landing, and switching fuel tanks. Okay, cool. Alternator on, avionics. Get my lights on. Pitot heat on, ice protection, don't care. Instruments are good. Go away. Is my fuel selector off? Left. Can't do both. Dumb. Okay. Cool. Controls good. Let's see. Up mine, up yours. Stick my head out the window. That looks good. Sick. Okay, now what fucking way am I facing here? Oh, shit, Ace, what up? Cool, do I not get a tablet? Okay, let's take the parking brake off. We'll be taking off from 2-1, so we're going to be taxiing all the way down here. I'm underdriving you. I'm big no-no. Yeah, like I want to drive through those fucking airplanes. I mean, I'll fly as slow. I'm not gonna say as slow as I can, but I'll fly slower. Do 50% flaps for takeoff. We are on a dirt runway. The fuck are you taking me? Ooh. Okay, give me a second. My collective brake controls is backwards. Where I'm pushing down on the collective to stop. I want it the other way. Controls. Okay, am I still sitting good? Okay, yeah, that's better. Look, I'm just following the arrows, bud. They really don't have any buildings assembled here. So, I'm just going by what it's telling me here. This says Cirrus, bud. Full flaps. What the fuck do you think I am, rich? I hear Ace above me. Here we go, Ace. Forward on the stick. Keeping the nose down. Let's take off now. What do you think? No idea where I'm going. Do my cheater brackets not pop up? What are we doing? Flight director says we're heading this way, maybe? Oh, of course it doesn't give me any fucking cheater brackets. God damn it. Alerts nearest ident.
Yankee Tango Lima Hotel traffic. Victor Hotel Delta Kilo Victor.
Shut the fuck
Taking
up, I don't
off
care.
runway 24, west departure, Yankee Tango Lima Hotel traffic.
Georgia plane spawn adios. If you're still here. I'm gonna assume this way, because that's the way the green arrow is pointing. Wait, that's just pointing fucking north. What fucking direction? Oh, there's my thing. God damn it. That's where I left it in the helicopter. Okay, we got a direction now, bud. We're going to like a... Don't mind me. I'm just looking at my tablet. Texting and driving. Okay, we're going in like a 2-1 direction-ish sort of thing. I'm gonna slow down for you too a little bit, bud. We're in this together. Get rid of our cheater brackets, even though they weren't here. climb 7,000. Why are we going to the moon? Okay, 1,000 foot per minute climb. And 70 knots, cool. We'll work towards it. Now that I actually know the fucking direction that I'm going. As you can tell, we didn't do a lot of pre-flight planning, so we're on more of the side of just winging it, and not just because we're in an airplane. Yeah, you can stay low, Ace. We're heading in this general direction, the 2-1 heading. Maybe even a bit more like 2-2 heading. And get yourself some Starlink, bud. Starlink runs it. That's what I'm running on. Jesus, are you making your way up to my altitude up here? Yep. Are you using SimRate or are you just fucking raw dogging it up here? Okay, well, yeah, if the computer's a limitation, computer's a limitation. My laptop could run it, but at pretty low graphics. I'm running mid graphics right now, but I was doing this as a non-VR. I can run ultra graphics on everything, but with VR I opt to run lower graphics just for smoothness sake. Sim rate, I figured. We're not going fast right now, we're doing 130. But I'm also doing a relatively steep climb up as well. Honestly, I couldn't tell you like specs as far as what's minimum. I know I'm running a 4070 Ti Super for my graphics card. The reason I got that was because it was kind of equivalent to the higher end of the last gen. So I mean, I'm still like $900 to $1,000 in the graphics card. As far as the CPU, I'm using an AMD 7800 X3D. If you're going to do VR, I would say invest in a motherboard that can put out the power to do VR and charge the headset directly from the motherboard and save the complexity. But if not, then it's... I plug mine into a wall, or if you're not doing VR, then you can just do it with like a 2-monitor type setup. But if you're doing helicopter stuff, I prefer the VR. Do you know what graphics card's in your laptop? Or what sort of laptop it is? 6,800 feet. We need to go up a little bit higher for your climbing altitude. $1,650. It could run, you could probably run low graphics. I forget what my laptop is, but I ran 2020 okay on low graphics. I ran this one okay on low graphics. It wasn't like a gaming monster or anything. It's a laptop mainly made for editing and stuff. But like, it did good, you know, and well enough for what I needed. I think mine's my laptop is fixed 1650, 1660, somewhere in there. It 1600, I don't know, whatever it was, it's in that general area of existence. So this is where I wish I could trim out, because right now I'm at 7,100 feet. I'm having to, like, very, very gingerly play with the cyclic. Uh, 2020 graphics are, I mean, they're not bad, but the graphics close to the ground are significantly better in 2024. That will be what the big selling point of 2024 is, especially me, where I'm pretty much just doing helicopter shit. The close to the ground graphics are so much better in 2024. The variety of trees that you can see down there, satellite imagery is better. The buildings are all different. In 2020, it was all kind of the same buildings for a lot of stuff. The same trees everywhere. Pretty basic. You can go back further on my channel and look at earlier videos where you can see it's at whatever level, you know, but I mean, it's not, they're not terrible, you know. People played it for 4 years. Gonna slowly let off the throttle. Slowly start throwing a descent in here. Not fast, just a little bit. If I get on 2020, we can play together. Or if you have an Xbox, and you download 2020 for Xbox, I can do crossplay to that. But 2020 to 2024 does not cross as far as doing shit together. But I can hop on 2020 and do things. I know there's a few friends that have wanted to try flight simulator type stuff, and they've got 2020 on Xbox or whatever, and I'll hop on with them. And they'll get like a basic controller setup where it's like a joystick and like a throttle quadrant and pedals, like a HOTAS, H-O-T-A-S. And they'll use that for their controls, and use the throttle as a collective, where all the way down is of course collective all the way down, all the way up is collective all the way up. So they'll play like that. But I know it's not optimal. So but I may do 2020 one day when I'm not doing an around the world leg. May do 2020 as like a shenanigan type thing, or a shenanigan day, just to go back and see how different it feels to be in that. But I can tell you, like, looking down right now, this feels significantly more real than what 2020 did. We're now at 5,800 feet, still going down. See me play my throttle. Yeah, Tom, you should go back and look at, like, the day, the end of the stream, the shenanigans section, like the day or two before you got in. I landed an A320 on like a runway barely big enough to fucking put an A320 on. First fucking rip, I was extremely happy with that. I see another comment down there, but I can't read it. Give me a second. Yes, just geblitzt. Хорошо. Looks like our airport is kind of over on the town there, just in front of us, past it. What am I looking at here? Okay, so there's a little town that we're going over now, and it's not that. It's not this little town. To our right. So we'll start turning to the left a little bit, more south. Yet. Yeah, 2020 would definitely run better on bad internet. Just because it's not a cloud-based game. Cloud-based game, you're kind of fucked on that one there. For the extra people watching now that are not part of the normal stream, we've already done our around the world bit for today. We landed down in Okinawa, Japan, and we're just doing a little shenanigan flight now afterwards because Tom wanted to see the Cirrus airplane flying from one airport to another airport here in Australia. So we're doing that leg real quick, just to kind of wrap up the night and chill out from what was a pretty chill flight, but it was just a lot of water flying. So that's a runway 29. So I'm gonna do, I'm even gonna hit a little bit more. This way for right now to give us a bit more wide berth. We're really high now, but I'm okay with that. I like aggressive approaches. The runway is in sight. There's an advisory on the EFB. Yeah, you can download better graphics. There's a lot of airports that have extra stuff. Fuel imbalance. Okay, cool. So, whip. Did I turn the fuel off? I want right. I don't want off. Not fucking stupid. Turning on final. Taking one nacho flaps. VHBSM, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm landing right behind you. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna Sears. We're fast. You're gonna what? Oh, 420. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with my glide slope. Fuck off. Ain't quite a numbers landing, but, you know, not bad. At the markers. On the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes. Yeah, shut up. You're good. Wow, no fucking turnoffs anywhere? Okay, Tumbalungi Airport, we're off the runway. Had a pretty stout crosswind coming in. I'm gonna come down here to the big ramp. Don't mind me being a fucking idiot. I ain't holding short of a damn thing. Skirt, skirt. Let's go. Oh, I got people over here. Hell yeah. Fuck you. I don't know what happened there. Flaps up. Oh, that's landing lights. It's on my controller here. Cool. Hell yeah. My boy Ace. Okay. So, for real, done for the night now. Gonna go shit shower and get the hell out of here. Ugh. So yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Ace, thanks for riding along for that second half from the fuel stop to here. Been pretty good. It's either 7 or 8 or whatever of you in here. Feel free to like and subscribe. We got more coming up. Got like 80 or 90 more days of doing this. And some days when we're done, we do little shenanigan airplane things or whatever. And this is actually a helicopter, but model roads or whatever. So Ace, appreciate it as always. Tom, thanks for being here. And yeah, it's gonna be a see ya to everybody on stream right now.